Okay, supposedly I'm live, and I am so sorry about the delay today. So sorry about the delay today. I think I've got this thing figured out now. Let me just double check and make sure I'm actually going live. So I'm assuming most of you are going to catch this on the replay. Yes, we are live. How exciting is that? All right. Oh my gosh. So, hello, magnificent beings. Welcome to our first live stream in the Activate Your Inner Guidance series. I know we've got a number of new members here in the community, and so for those of you who don't know me, just very briefly, I am an intuitive and a business mentor for coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs worldwide. I help them have a greater impact on their lives and their clients' lives by paving the path to prosperity faster and a lot more easier or more easily than clients can achieve it on their own. And we do this by integrating inner guidance with the proven practical business strategies that align with their spirit and values. I'm also the author of The Feel Good Guide to Prosperity and Life Lessons for Mastering the Law of Attraction, which I co-authored with Jack Canfield. Okay, so I am just going to do a double check again just to make sure everything is actually working. Let's just double check. Yes. All right, we are working. All right, so it's my passion to helping those of you who are coaches, healers, holistic practitioners, spiritual entrepreneurs, any of you in the transformational arena who are really wanting to create positive impact in the lives of others, and that's what you're here to do, and you are following your mission and your passion in the business that you have. So what I'm talking about today is, it works whether it's about business or not, but let's get into it, okay? Now, I feel like today's focus sets the foundation for the trainings that will follow this one, all right? For some of you, this may not be new news. For others of you, get ready to have your minds blown, all right? So in layman's terms, what is quantum physics? And what has that got to do with your inner guidance? First of all, absolutely everything and anything that exists is part of non-physical reality, okay? So anything that's part of our physical existence, it was formed originally from the non-physical reality of energy, all right? And that means everything in creation exists in the non-physical realms, including everything that is physical, including us. Okay? Everything is energy, and energy is eternal, which means we are also eternal beings. All right? So if you look at quantum physics, you learn that subatomic particles are forever, and they are popping in and out of existence, all right? And I remember this growing up, before I was even in school, and I just remember thinking, everything's just blinking on and off. We're just blinking on and off. Where I got that, I have no idea, but it was something that came to me very, very early. Well, that's exactly what's happening. We are popping in and out of physical existence, all right? And that means there is always life in the non-physical realms, even when we transition from our physical lives, okay? But in our physical bodies and everything that's physical, everything that is physical is popping in and out of existence, all right? Which means we are more space than anything else. And the only thing in that space is energy, and energy is source energy. It is the energy of all that is, whatever you call that for yourself, all right? And because everything is energy of source, then when we look at it from that perspective, everything is in balance, including you. And so if you don't happen to like what you see in the moment, or you're unhappy with something in your life, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Everything in our lives is just a reflection of how we choose to see things in our life and how we choose to react to the situation or the circumstances in our life. All right? But the truth is, in spite of what you might be witnessing in your current reality, what you want to remember is well-being abounds. And it's really a matter of us lining up with that energy rather than being in resistance to it. Nothing outside ourselves can make us unhappy. It can't make us unhappy. And that's ours to do. We will use it as an excuse to be unhappy, right? But because we are extensions of that source energy that is pure, positive energy, what creates our unhappiness is, of course, our disconnection from that energy flow. And what creates our lack of prosperity is that disconnection. Now, the great news is we've all got the ability to reconnect to that energy, and we don't have to rely on anyone else outside ourselves. We don't have to rely on anything else outside ourselves. We don't have to rely on the situations to change, the circumstances to change. We are in control here. So what happens is we're responding emotionally to everything that is going on in our lives, whether we're aware of it or not. And unfortunately, because most people don't understand that our emotions at the most fundamental level are our inner guidance system. Most people don't understand that. That's our inner guidance at the most fundamental level. And that is where we get to create, okay? They don't understand that everything is controlled energetically. So when something unwanted happens, then they have a negative emotional reaction. This is what we all do, right? We have something that we don't like happens. We've got this emotional knee-jerk reaction, a negative reaction. And then, of course, what does that do? It attracts more circumstances that triggers more negative emotional charges and reactions, and then it becomes a vicious cycle, all right? Now, the way to break this at its most fundamental level is to go back to the understanding of law of attraction. And that's where you start to look for anything that's going to have you feel a little bit better. Now, I'm assuming anybody that's in this group understands law of attraction, but in case you don't, my definition of law of attraction is whatever you put your focus, your energy, and your emotions into, you're going to create more like that, okay? But it's the emotion, it's that emotional charge you have that is attracting more of what you're getting in your life, okay? So if what's going on is not what you want, what do we have to do? We have to shift our energy. We think we've got to get out there and do something, that somebody has to change and the situation has to change. That's not how it works, all right? We got to go back and we look for anything that's going to help us shift our energy in the moment. And if your emotions are your inner guidance at the most fundamental level, then when something doesn't feel good to you, it's because you are now disconnected from the truth of who you are, which is source energy. Your inner guidance is letting you know that we're not connected with our inner guidance. So even the negative is actually guiding you. We usually say, well, if inner guidance feels good. Well, if you're not following your inner guidance that's calling you forth to the truth of who you are and what you're here to create, your desires, your dreams, you get to have them and you get to experience them, and your guidance will be leading you towards that, okay? But if you are not connected to it and it's like your guidance is saying, come this way, and we're going that way, and then it doesn't feel good, right? So all you want to do is go back and look for anything you can that has you feel just a little bit better right here, right now. All of our power is in the present moment. It's all we've got. We'll be going into a lot more of that in some other trainings that'll be coming up. And then as you begin to feel just a little bit better, what do? You attract more situations to feel better about. And then over time, that becomes your habit of focus. And now you begin acknowledging even more aspects of your life that are working, which in turn creates more situations that work until you find yourself in a place of being able to deal with the things in your life much more easily. And now what are you doing? You are creating situations in your life that are coming from a positive perspective rather than a negative perspective. But it is the energy shift that is creating. We think it's our action. The action follows the energy shifts. Otherwise, whatever energy we're in, we get into action, and it's like pushing a wet noodle uphill going nowhere fast if you're disconnected from your inner guidance and your source. Okay? And so when we are refocused, okay, we are extensions of source energy, and it's all that energy, non-physical. We are more non-physical than we are physical. Okay? And then with that understanding and that knowing, now we understand we have the power, we have the ability to choose to feel good in spite of circumstances and not allowing them to take you down. Now you're in alignment with your source energy, where all of your abundance and all of your prosperity resides. It is in a quantum sea of limitless potential and possibilities. And with our every thought and our every feeling, we are lining up with the potentiality that is a vibrational match to that. How awesome is it to understand this? We have the ability to shift in the present moment, and we don't have to rely on anyone or anything else. Do you understand what that means? Oh my gosh, whether you're catching this on live, if you actually hung in that long, or if you're catching this on the replay, I want to hear your thoughts about this in the comments, and ask me any questions you have about this. I'll be sure to come and check the comments and answer those, and it'll help me know what are the best trainings to come up after this. I've got a lot of trainings that are coming up, but it'll help me to know where you guys are tuning in and what needs to happen next, okay? But if you decide you want prosperity and you want a life beyond your wildest dreams, and you want a life of love and light and laughter, you want a life of peace and prosperity, you want a business that's highly successful, that lights up your soul, that's making the kind of impact you're here to make, and then what you're wanting to do is you have that one heart's desire or that many heart's desires, and you choose to focus. And the moment that you say you want something, that you want your life to be different, the moment you even ponder the possibility of something in your life that is different than maybe what you've been experiencing up to now, you immediately align with those pockets of pure potentiality for that. And you align with the potentiality that's been here all along. It's just you couldn't access it before because you were not energetically aligned with it before. It's that vibrational frequency. Nothing is out there, right? I'm pointing like all of this stuff. We look like we're looking through our physical eyes to everything out there. It's nothing out there. It's all within us. And when we shift our vibration, then you understand that what was impossible for you before is now absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. And from that newly activated possibility, things begin to gestate. They begin to line up. The things that are leading you to the very desire that you have. The people, places, situations, circumstances, ideas, synchronicities, they all occur, and as they're happening, you are well on your way. But it's for us to hold to the vision of what we want. Do not discount your imagination. It is everything. But you have to ask for what you want, not from your head, but through your heart center. This is where our source is. This is where inner guidance lies. This is that connection to source energy. And now you hold on to that vision, knowing full well it's on its way, because it is. And you've got the ability to change your past and create your future based on where you choose to focus your thoughts in the present moment, which is all we've got. That's why this is where all our power lies. When you think about something in your past, where are you thinking about it? In your present moment. So any disconnection or negative energy you might feel when you think about something in your past, it's not about what happened in the past that's going on for you right now. It's the disconnection that you've just activated in the present moment. If you are focused on what worked really well, that's the great way to use your past, okay? And activate that energy in your present moment. When you are worried about your future, you are activating that in your present moment, and you are creating a near future that you probably don't want. When you hold to the vision of what you want and you're excited about what's possible in your future, you activate that in your present moment, and now you're creating a very near future that you do want. But it all continues to happen in this present moment, this present moment, this present moment, this present moment. It's all we've got. So let's back up a step and let's take a look at what quantum physics has to do with all this, because it does. Now, I have to say, in the past, my eyes would glaze over when someone would talk about quantum physics. But over the past, many years, there have been enough interesting books and documentaries that have come out that have explained it in a way that makes it relatively easy to understand, and it absolutely fascinating to me. And I think it'll be interesting to you as well when you understand the ramifications of what it all means for you in your life and your prosperity. But basically, quantum physics explains how everything in our physical existence is created. Whether you are aware of it or not, you, and only you, are the creator and in control of your physical world. You from your non-physical existence, right? And for most people, until you understand this, it seems like nothing is in your control. When the truth of the matter is that you create it all, whether it's poverty or prosperity or anything in between. And you're going to come to know just how everything comes into being and how your beliefs and your thoughts create physical matter, and how you ask, actually even before you ask, what you're asking for is being given to you. It's all right here. I remember my guides would say, it's right outside your door, Eva. It's right outside your door. And I was like, help me open the door. Okay? It's not even outside the door. It's all right here. It's all a frequency. So we just need to learn how to line up with the frequency. All right? So what is quantum physics anyway? Bottom line, it is the study of how the universe is constructed. So, for example, and everything in the universe, right? It's like the cells of your body that's what it's made up of. Those cells are made up of molecules. Those molecules are made up of atoms, which are made up of subatomic particles, right? So everything is made up of subatomic particles. You are, I am, the planet is, your thoughts are, your house is, your car is, the oceans and the mountains are, absolutely everything, okay? And the big difference is in how those subatomic particles are grouped together like building blocks. And once you understand how they work, then you'll understand how you create not only yourself, but your world. So when you're aligned with Source and you're focused on your heart's desires, you start activating those heart desires from the energy of infinite possibilities through subatomic particles in the quantum field. And by the way, subatomic particles are not really even particles, okay? Not like you think of crumbs or a grain of sand. They are actually probabilities of existence and multiple existences. They are energy, just like everything in the universe is. And these little energy packets are at our beck and call and our command through our thoughts and our focus. So I hope you guys are beginning to see the connection in all this. Again, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure I come back and respond to those. I'm just looking over here to make sure that I'm still alive in the group. This is a good thing. All right. So just to be clear, subatomic particles are not made up of energy. They are energy, which means so are we. And so is everything else, as is source energy. Okay? And source energy and thought arranges energy into the physical beings that we are, along with everything else. So energy is spread out over time and space as waves. And only when it's observed does it organize itself as a particle or an object in a particular time and place. And you've got to remember, time and place is part of this physical earth reality. Time doesn't even exist. Time and space actually doesn't even exist in non-physical, right? So it is a component of our physical experience, all right? And so it organizes itself when we focus on it. And then the moment you remove your attention from that object, it no longer exists in that form. It becomes what it really is, which is energy expressed as waves. So, all right, let's just do this. If you take a look at something in front of you, like if you're sitting at your desk or on a chair, but anyway, look at something that's directly in front of you, all right, and you see it, it feels like it's here, yes? And then you turn around and you look in the opposite direction at something that you see over there, okay? While you're looking away, you no longer, and if it's not in your thoughts, what you were looking at before you turned away did not exist in this form that you see it. It no longer exists as a physical object. It actually reverted back to waves, meaning it disappeared into probabilities until you turned around and you observed it again. Or in your thoughts, you're activating it in your thoughts. The very act of observing it, being what has it organized into what it looks like in front of you, okay? You getting this? It is our beliefs and our expectations of it being there that actually creates it. Because everything is made up of these subatomic particles that are really nothing but energy. And so there are no objects. There are no objects that are really solid. They and we are actually rapidly blinking packets of energy. It's like trillions and trillions of packets of energy that are blinking in and out of the space where that object is. So it looks solid. It feels solid. I can knock on my desk. The furniture's solid. Our house looks solid. Our car looks solid. So what's up with that, right? How can that be? Think about it like this. When you watch a movie, you see people moving around on the screen, right? But in actuality, it's a bunch of still frames moving quickly that are being projected, so you can't detect each separate frame. And each of those frames is composed of billions of light photons that are flashing at the speed of light, so it looks like a continuous solid movement, right? Even right now, what we're doing, it's not a solid movement. We are literally moving billions of times a second into a different universe. Okay, I'm probably blowing some minds here. Some of you are going to say, get me out of here. And if so, I'm so sorry. For those of you who it resonates with, even if it doesn't make sense, I am just planting the seeds. I'm planting the seeds for you right now, okay? And these rapidly blinking energy packets are probabilities that become physical particles that we can see when we observe them at a certain point in space and time, right? And then the minute we look away and it's out of our thoughts, we remove our attention from them, they disappear back into probabilities, okay? This is the power of focusing on our desires and our visions of what is wanted. We are activating that until it forms into our time-space physical earth reality. Okay? This is the power of our imagination. We are here meant to be visionaries. We are not here meant to be observers of what already is. What is our past. What's manifest already is based on the visions or the attention or the desires that we've held up until the point it became physical. That means the visions and the desires, or the focus on something that wasn't wanted and worrying about it until the worry became a reality. The situation became a reality. Or once something has become a reality, then we worry more. You get it? Versus holding the vision of what is possible. That was then. That's what you have to keep remembering. That's the way it was for me up to now. Up to now. Because now you can change. That's the beauty of this. Nothing is in concrete. Everything is liquid. If there's something that you don't want to be experiencing right now, you have all of the power to change that. This is how we change it. We have to start with energy, and it's something you'll hear me say a lot. Energy alignment, first, foremost, and always. So, getting back to this crazy stuff of something is here and then it's not, all right? So when you leave a room to go into another room in your house and you're no longer in that room and you're no longer thinking of that room, it disappears. The physical layout of it disappears. It actually is no longer there in physical. It becomes a probability that can reappear whenever you refocus it. You come home and your home is there. You see it in the way that it is. Otherwise, it's waves, okay? You anticipate entering a room, it's there. As you come through the doorway, that room is there. It's as if by magic. Actually, the way we think of it, it's always been here. But it's not. Nothing exists for you in the physical. It exists, but it's not in the physical world. Nothing exists for you in the physical world that you are not directly thinking about or observing until you think about it. And then you expect it to be where you last left it. And now it's there as a result of you expecting it to be there. All right? So if everyone were to not look or think about the planets and the stars, then there would be no physical planets and stars there. No reverting back to its probable existence. Observing it is what shifts it, okay? Ongoing attention is what holds it there. So we have an illusion of the existence of the stars and the planets. We believe the stars and planets exist, right? We study them, we read about them, we enjoy seeing them in the night sky, and so they seem to always be there. And that means we are at choice as to what we observe, and as long as we're clear and we are consistent in that observation in our minds and in our thoughts, that is what causes the energy packets to formulate into whatever it is we're focused on. And then over time, how quickly it forms depends on your attention and intention and your focus and your certainty. So it's your level of expectation that influences very heavily the results that you get. Okay? We live in a multi-dimensional universe. It's just that we're so used to using our 5 physical senses that we only detect one dimension. But our souls are beyond this limited physical dimension that we're aware of through our physical senses. And of course, in our minds and our imagination, there is no boundary there either. No boundaries at all. And the fact that we are the same energy as infinite intelligence, as source energy, we are extensions of that energy. And that same energy as potentiality, so we have the ability to literally influence this field of energy into whatever we focus on and we observe. And then, in essence, we already have everything that we've ever strived for and everything that we're asking for. It already exists at some level. But the big question is, are you experiencing it yet? That's the difference. Okay? So, for example, the ability is there. So let's say up until you were about probably 15 or 16 years old, or however old it was when you learned to drive, you just hadn't had that experience in your life yet, okay? But you had the ability. And in the same way, you have the ability to snow ski or mountain climb. It is all within you. You just haven't experienced it yet. Maybe you won't ever experience some things, but the ability is still there, right? Some of you have things like, just think about, I'm just trying to think of some of my own, but things that you've experienced in your life. At some point, you had not experienced them before. You know, everything, absolutely everything we ever do in this physical life, we had to do it for the first time. There was a first time for everything without exception. Okay? And so things that you've experienced in your life, so you've had the ability, it was already in you, and so many things won't be. For me, I think of things like running a marathon, water skiing, snow skiing, skydiving, running my own business, all those things. Before I had them, they were still within me. That ability was there, right? It's been with me long before I experienced those things. And so it's the same for everything. Everything is available to us in the quantum field. It is an infinite number of possibilities, probabilities, and potentiality that is available. That's exciting. Gosh, can you get excited about this? Everything you've been questioning that you could have. Can you have the successful business? Will you get the clients? The not being sure and the being afraid that you might has been what you've created. So let's create something different. Let's create that success. Let's create the fun in it. Let's have it light up our souls. Let's create what we want. We just need to deliberately and intentionally choose to shift our conscious awareness so that we access parts of ourselves that have always been there in that multi-universe of infinite possibilities in the quantum field. It is there, and it is right there. It's right here. And infinite possibilities. Infinite is a really, really, really big number, right? Which is why when you ask, it is already given. The seat you're sitting in is formed from that soup of infinite possibilities. The room that you're in, this call, the thoughts that you're thinking. You probably didn't wake up one morning some months ago and predict that you would be watching a live stream on quantum physics and inner guidance. But here you are, whether you're watching this live or you're on the replay. Because you had a desire to know more about inner guidance, or you had a desire for something that your inner guidance was leading you to, and this was one of the steps towards that, all right? And because of my desire to share my own interests and my passion with those of you who are interested in the same things, then I co-created this experience with you. A month ago, 2 weeks ago, none of this existed. But the truth is, it's always existed in the quantum field, right? And it does as a result of my desires and my intentions. I was open to the creation. I knew my thoughts and ideas would be made manifest somehow, even if I had no idea what it was leading me to, or the thoughts that were going to come in, or how it would turn out, or what it would look like, or who would be here, or whether I could get the live stream working or not, right? But I had the desire to have it work. I didn't know the hows, I didn't know what was going on, but I just knew that there was a way. Clearly there was a way. Other people have already done it, right? That makes it even easier. But you had a desire through which you have created this into existence for yourself. But it wasn't that you predicted it, right? There's a difference. You didn't necessarily predict that this was coming, but you had a desire at some level that this is driving you towards either, this is not the end all, this is leading you through to something else, right? And you had that desire, and so therefore the universe, i.e. you, right, from your broader, wiser, all-knowing, true self, orchestrated the people, places, situations, circumstances, and events to have this manifest in your experience. And it's the same for everything in your life. The entire universe exists as a result of your observation of it. Your desires, your intentions, the focus of your heart's desires, they are created in the moment of your focus on it. And so the truth is, it exists as the potentiality and the probability already in multiple dimensions in parallel worlds. And because we are made up of that same energy that exists as waves until it's observed, as it is in everything in the universe, we are living multiple lives in multiple dimensions. There is a version of you who is already outrageously prosperous at what you're doing, and in other ways that maybe you haven't even fathomed in this experience. There's a version of you who is not. There is a version of you who is married to a certain partner. There's another version of you who is single, and so it goes. And infinite possibilities between all of that. These are just super, super simple examples. But just know that every decision you make, you create a new universe. Or you actually create, it's kind of like a split in the universe. It's not even a split. We're moving through all of these different dimensions, like I said, billions of them in seconds. And you're going to be aware of each of those aspects through which you've made that decision, all right? So there's the version of you who is not aware of everything that's being played out in this way. And if there's a version of you who made decision A and you went that route, there's another version of you who made decision B and went a different route. So this is also why there cannot be just one truth for all of us in this physical existence. And you know, my spirit guides, Theos, has said before, not everyone's truth is the same. So it's up to you to be open to your truth from your current conscious awareness, and then you allow all others their truth, even if it doesn't line up with yours, because it all exists. All right. So let me just make sure we're still rocking and rolling over here. Okay. It doesn't seem like it. Did I lose you guys? I hope not. All right. Good. Okay. It got just a little bit frozen. Let me just make sure I don't get that distracted. Okay. So let's keep going. Hang in there with me, people. All right. There's a method to the madness. So you can once and for all really understand, how do you divinely manifest your life deliberately and through the eyes of this infinite source energy. Okay, along with all of these splits in the universe, all of these multiple of universes that we're creating with every decision that we make, the universe is also forming new universes. And the entire universe and everything in it began as these subatomic packets of energy that is constantly expanding. That is source energy. Source energy is constantly expanding. And through that, new worlds and new universes are forming. But source is what brings matter into being. Everything exists as all possible states until it's thought about or it's observed. And that means that includes us. It includes our physical bodies, our homes, the oceans, the forests, and light. In fact, in all of my spiritual studies over the years, I have learned that we are light. We are the same as light. We are light beings. If you've ever heard that phrase before, we are light beings. And what physics has proven is that we are the same thing as light. And light is consciousness. Now, we've been told that we are all made up mostly of space, right? And all matter is made mostly of space. But as I said earlier, that space is not empty space. It's filled with energy. It's the subatomic energy pack. It's the energy of source that makes up absolutely everything. It's just that from our physical perspective, we're limited to what we can detect with our five senses. Sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, right? For the most part. And there's so much more that exists in us and who we are than we are aware of. And we, along with everything else, is a part of that sea of energy. We just feel separate because we're so used to operating from our physical senses, okay? Which, as it should be, because we are in a physical world. But this is to help you understand the power and the truth that's beyond just this limited physical earth reality, and how we create, how we use our inner guidance and our source energy, the extensions of source energy that we are, to create now and create a game that we love. Talk about the game of life, by really using this energy and tapping into this energy and leading our lives in a way that's beyond anything that we ever had before. And the timing right now, there's no accident and no coincidence that these awarenesses and the awareness of consciousness is coming up in the way it is now. We'll go into a lot more of this in some other trainings. But bottom line right now, first of all, one, science has proven energy is the building block of everything. So the energy that makes up the oceans, the forests, your house, your body, everything, it's all the same. So there's no ocean industry or energy, and then there's forest energy or house energy or body energy. It's all the same energy. And it is constantly changing form all the time. Number two, whether you realize it or not, at the core of your being, you are always looking for growth and expansion so that you can experience the full potential of who you are. And I say you, I mean us, right? So that we can be the best that we can possibly be. Number three, whatever quality you think having money or success or health or anything else will give you, it's the very quality you need to be in order for that to flow to you. So it's not about going after it. We need to just be in that state. Be in the quality of what you want. Being in the quality of what you want is way stronger because it creates that activation of the frequency, the energy vibrations in the physical world so that you have the ability to experience what you want. Number four, in the moment that you decide you want your life to be different and you focus on the prosperity, the love, laughter, peace, prosperity, all of these things, you immediately align with the pockets of pure potentiality that you couldn't access before, even though it's always been here. It's always been here. What was impossible for you before is now absolutely possible. And number five, you've got the ability to change your past and create your future based on where you choose to put your focus and your thoughts in the present moment, right here where all of our power lies. And number six, subatomic particles are energy packets of probabilities of existence. And it's through our thoughts, our intentions, and our attention to something that arranges that energy into matter. And these little energy packets are at our beck and call and our command through our thoughts, our visions, and our emotions. Remember, the way I see it is your thoughts are the engine, your emotions are the fuel to creating whatever it is you want in your life. Okay. I know that we've covered a lot of crazy things here today. You don't have to understand quantum physics to access your inner guidance. That's the good news, all right? Your guidance is always calling you. It is always calling you forth to step into divinely manifesting whatever it is you want in this time-space physical reality. And the purpose of this live stream is to really help you understand what your world is really made up of and have you begin to think about just how much control you really do have over your life and what you create, and to understand that you have a greater version of yourself We are extensions of source energy that we have access to through our higher selves, through our inner guidance, to create whatever it is we want to experience in this lifetime and in our lives, in our businesses. And I will also say, it is no accident that you got into the business that you are in. You are here with an intention to make a difference in your unique way, and your businesses are one of the ways that you express that. As my guides say, we are all unique facets of the diamond of humanity, and we all have our unique way of expressing through this time, space, earth reality. So I hope hope it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, I hope the seeds are planting, and I hope it's resonating. In upcoming live streams, we're going to take this further, and we're going to start going into how do you best tap into your inner guidance, and how do you use it practically in your business and your life. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts on all this. Let me know in the comments, and if you've got questions, again, about any of this, ask away. I will come in, I will be sure to answer it, and it will let me know where we are, in the scheme of things, so I know what would make best sense to come in as the next trainings. Otherwise, I already have my idea of what those will be, so be on the lookout for those events getting scheduled in here. Now that I think I've figured this thing out anyway. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for bearing with me today. Big, big heart hugs, lots of love. Bye for now.